allowing us to present and look forward to giving the presentation today and answering questions and follow-ups. So we don't talk about today. We'll give our information. Feel free to consult with us if you have any follow-up questions. So anyway, so we're ready. Okay, so as I mentioned, we started our company in 2004, and we're going to talk about security today, but we're going to put an emphasis on email and basically looking at some recent statistics. The Cybercrime magazine estimates worldwide there's going to be $8 trillion in losses. That's $8 trillion worldwide just from cyber attacks and theft and loss. So most of the attacks are going to be small and medium businesses, and they find 60% will go out of business based on the attack or the reputation. And also, one of our partners here we've met offers cyber risk assessment insurance. He's going to give a quick follow-up. Brian's going to do that afterwards. So anyway, so basically look forward to getting the presentation in the next slide. So basically, this probably looks familiar to you. This is the platforms that you're going to see between your phone, your computer, text from strangers, your accounts been suspended from Netflix, another big one, the important warranty, click here for your gift. Everything that's electronic now seems to be at risk, and everyone's in there trying to get your information. So also the fake message, even with an alert, you now have a virus on your computer, you must call this number. Well, I guarantee you that number is somebody probably in a foreign country that is just salivating to get your credit cards and your other information. The pop-up ads, viruses, things that are, this is the phone, service for the bank. We need your information to do an update. So all this stuff is staying ahead of the attackers. It's very challenging. And that's what we hope to help accomplish. So majority of the attacks do come from email, and that's why we're focusing our presentation on email today. So basically, a lot of the industries, especially medical and accounting, it's mandated by law, HIPAA, WISP. You have to have a certain security outline, insurance, and other information to protect anything with client sensitive information. But even if you're not in that particular industry, it's not a bad idea to have a risk assessment and understand where the vulnerabilities might be in your organization. So let's go to the next one. So when we consider sensitive information, it's going to be social security numbers, driver's license, date of birth, any information that's private that should not be available to people just by clicking. Or anyway, the next one. So the most common attacks are coming from email. A lot of it is just people accidentally clicking on something they think because it's from someone they think they know. So we're trying very hard to get your information, your email address and your password, so they can basically get in and start hacking and sending out information to your contacts. So you might even get something from a reputable organization, it looks like, with a logo. Usually it's a sense of urgency. If you don't do this, your account's going to be canceled. Some compelling reason why you need to do this. So these schemes are becoming more and more prevalent. You probably noticed that, whether it's instant messages, phone calls, targeting a lot of seniors too, telling them your grandson's needs an accident, we need money for the insurance. You name it, it's out there. It's just trying to stay ahead of this stuff. It's going to be the biggest challenge. So we'll go to the next of examples. Spoof emails from a fake sender. Might even look like it's from the organization, but if you look closely, in many cases, it's going to have an email address that doesn't match anyone you've ever dealt with. So you're really trying very hard to get your sensitive information. Phishing emails are less targeted, but there are harmful links in which they might have something you can click on, and once you click on, you can get the information. You could put a virus on your computer or a mining type software to get your information. So that's another example. Here's one, I don't know if you can see it, but this says it's from Microsoft. And here's your compelling event. Your password's expiring. You think, oh, look, it's expiring. I better click. And basically, says Microsoft, but we're going to the next slide. Like many of these, Better Business Bureau, there's been a complaint against your business. You're like, oh, this is serious. I better handle this right away. You know, so other people might think, I wonder who's not satisfied. As soon as you fill out the complaint report with your information, they're going to try real hard to get maybe your FEIN number or something like that, so they can basically try and hack your business. So that's something in there you'll see. Many of these have typos, grammar errors. They don't look like there's something not right about it. Or another one as far as a organization, somehow they may know you do business with, and you need to send money, a link from a fake board of governors with the curve system. You know, you need to click here for further information. Another example, next one. So also, here's one from QuickBooks telling you that if you don't basically handle this right now, you're gonna have a disruption in service. So all these are compelling things that, you know, I don't want my QuickBooks to stop. So, you know, instead of like hoping that you're gonna click on this, instead of maybe taking a deep breath, saying, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't click on this, maybe I should be calling QuickBooks directly to find out if my account is really in jeopardy. I'll talk more about that at the next one. So you mentioned that I have grammar or spelling errors in there, links that you're not used to, generic readings. Look closely at the contact information. It might say Microsoft and it might have something else next to it. Anything that doesn't look right, it's probably not right. It's always best to take a break from it and say, okay, well, this is going to be QuickBooks or Microsoft. Maybe somehow I can actually contact my IT guy or the company to find out who they really sell it. Next one. So here's one too. You can see like it says it's from Outlook. Spelling mistakes. You can see the domain name, even though it says, hey, this is Microsoft.uk, it's Great Britain. Usually we don't get emails from Great Britain for stuff that we need to do here. So spelling mistakes, these are coming a dime a dozen, whatever these email accounts. Here's one of my clients, accounting for many transactions. It's my email I use with them. It's telling me that I have some kind of payment that's been processed. And most people, wait a minute, this is going to get against my account. I better call them. So then they're going to tell you, let me get your credit back. What's your credit card number? And if you look closely on this one, .es Spain. Why would someone from Spain be sending me information, you know, about big charge? So all these things are ones you have to pay attention to. You also, how did they get my email address? Well, many companies, your free things are, they're selling your email address. Even on the business side, I deal with Dell, I had to tell them to stop selling my email address by the typo in it. So also there's been breaches. Adobe, prior to I guess Facebook was MySpace. That's been hacked to the point from the dark web that they actually had people's emails and the password at the time. So that was something to be careful of. We'll follow up the next one. So also my client, since it's public, I'm not really reaching anything. I mentioned his website. You know, it's nice to get his website. Here's the, why don't we contact the CPA president and the vice president phone number and the email. Well, those are going to be mine. And people are going to think, okay, well, that's good to have that there. But instead of putting your personal email, use something like info@. And that way, you're not giving out the name of the president, the CEO, etc. Next one. Also, if you go ahead and Google the company, you can almost find out anything you'd ever want to know about it. So it could be also that you're trying to get the CFO so they can get money wired. Even if it's not email, what if you call the front desk and say, oh, I owe you a lot of money. Who do I send that to? You know, so that's just an example of an outside, even a phone call. So you really have to have some due diligence as to when you're giving out information and think twice about, okay, I don't usually transfer money to this account. What's going on here? Maybe I should call and find out. Next one. So here's mine. One of my clients actually went to Ukraine with a drunk CEO, and he ended up not telling me any of this stuff. And we read about it in the Washington Post. And he put in there for fundraising that he did this for the pictures. I'm thinking, like, are you crazy? You just put the big red X on your back. You don't think the Russians read the Washington Post and this? And his answer to me was, we haven't been hacked yet. And then the next day I got first call ever from Microsoft Security, which I thought was fake. He was under attack and they got into his contacts. And as a contact, I don't jinx it, but between the security and the extra features I have, they've not been able to break into my stuff. You can see from the exchange report, which is offered from Microsoft, one of the reports, all these, Rockwell is good, the rest of these are not, they're not getting in. And our company can put alerts up if somebody does get in. It should, we can get a quick banner and call them, wait a minute, one of your users has clicked on something they shouldn't, and it's been breached. So this stuff is happening by the, probably maybe 100 of these a day. So on top of the attack, putting in your authenticators, apps on your phones. Microsoft has what's called an authenticator app, which are trying to make mandatory, where you download the app itself. It goes to either your Google, your Chrome, Play Store phone, or it goes to your iPhone, and you're going to get a pop-up with a number to put in. Is this you? And that's just another layer. The hackers would have to have your phone too to be able to get in. On top of that, Dominic and I, if we have anything online, even if it's protected, we put a passcode within that document too. So somehow all this layers of protection, it failed and they got the document. They still have to have the PIN for the document or the passcode to get in. So there's just so many things to think about with this stuff. So malware we're going to cover is abbreviation for malicious software. And it's really designed to get in and damage your computer without the knowledge of the owner. And you'll have like a link or an executable to be a document, something that you're clicking on, and it starts a program and it starts to infect your computer. So there are other types categorized: spyware, ransomware, keyloggers, where they actually are looking at your keystrokes of your computer, where they can get your passcode that way. Worms, viruses. Ransomware is malicious software that's designed to block your system or screw up your files to the point where they're scrambled, then demand a ransom payment to get the key to unscramble them. You've probably heard of this. I think some of the medical systems and universities have fallen to this attack. One university had an old computer, I think wasn't even Windows 7 or something, even so old, still on the network, and it was vulnerable, and they found it and they hacked it. And basically, these universities and some of these businesses, they lose all their files, and, or they're scrambled, and you may or may not ever see them again. So basically, most of it again come from emails that you click on, and you accidentally clicked on something that looks good, and you infect it on the computer. Next one. So what happens? Okay, I've been hacked. You can attempt to pay the ransom. They'll give you the key to unscramble your computer or your files, or you might have to start over with your computer, hoping you have a good backup. Or like our organization has, depending on your industry, you could have a lower end backup, or one client backs up every 15 minutes. The accounting firm, if they can't do business during tax season, loses $8,000 an hour if something goes wrong. So you better believe they have the most important things in place. And we tell our suggested solutions to a single user might need something very simple to a complex user that is costing thousands of dollars if something happens per minute. Next one. So basically, you don't fall to these threats. Your account is probably not suspended. All these things that are coming in, sense of urgency. Take a deep breath. Say, wait a minute. This isn't Steve Wright. If you have an IT department, send a picture of it. Can you tell me if this is real? Instead of saying, I just clicked on this, is that okay? Usually it's not after you clicked on it, but people make mistakes and things happen like that. But just don't be duped into this. Oh, I have to do this now. Take a deep breath, call the company, call your IT guy. Next one. So also the scammers on the phone, they're going to call and ask for your information. This is the IRS, and you don't get this information, you didn't pay your taxes, we're going to come arrest you. Some guy from allegedly in Texas did that to me not long ago. Social Security, IRS, these organizations do not call you and ask you to tell you that, this is going to happen and we need this information. Even the electric companies, Pepco, I'm on a system where It's auto pay. They're not gonna cut me off. I get a phone call, and if you don't pay this in 15 minutes with a gift card, you're gonna lose your power. I'm like, yeah, I usually pay my bills with a gift card. You know, I better do this right away. Anyway, so also some of the suggested things for security, try using your phone app, like banking, instead of the computer. So if you're on a public Wi-Fi network, you want to be very careful what you're logging into. There's things called virtual private networks, which we can follow up later with questions that you can use that will protect you on a public network. Phone call, email, whatever it is, consider the source and just take a minute and try and contact the source to see if they actually sent it. If I have something from Bank of America or your bank, I might not click on that link, but I might go to my account in a private browser while I want to see did something actually happen, or I might call you and say, did you send this? And I'm sure you have clients that ask you that many times. So, also, you never want to use the public Wi-Fi's when you're entering your credit cards and such. You just don't know who's on the other end watching what we're doing. Go to the next one. So, the other thing I recommend is not using your primary email when you're signing up for Amazon rewards, you know, Spotify. One of my clients used his email account, his business one, for social media, and it got hacked. Use a free Gmail account for everything else. I have an old Comcast from the old house I lived in, and still have it. I sign up for all that stuff with the Comcast. I try to keep my email address just for business. That kind of helps, you know, differentiate security between personal and social. Also, same thing, when you're using your passcodes, make sure they're strong. People like the convenience of password storing through Google. And so keep in mind, if you're storing all your passcodes, all they need is to do is somehow crack your Windows passcode, and they have all your passwords. There's alternative methods, LastPass, these organizations that specialize in password protection that we deal with, that can help you on an enterprise level, individual level, to the best way. How do I store my passcodes? Or I can't remember 100 passcodes, and there's better ways to do this. So also on Windows 10 and 11, Windows has actually done a much better job with the Defender products. In 10 and 11, the Defender products are fairly good. They can be augmented with other services that Microsoft has, but the ransomware protection is actually embedded in your account manager and your security, but you have to turn it on. It's not turned on by default, and it's a pretty good system. Microsoft really used to be lacking in virus protection. They're actually doing a much better job now. Next one. Okay, so also common sense, don't share your passcodes with your friends and coworkers. And also, if they don't mandate it, occasionally change your passcode. Make sure you're using something that's not like simple. Put a capital letter in it, a symbol, you know, something in there that's not going to be easy to hack. And also knowing that you should probably keep using any secure password manager, not the browser one, that will help you remember all these. I can't remember all the passcodes.
Just don't make it the password.
Yeah, password 1, 2, 3, or the name of something, and stuff. And we ended up having a breach that we had to investigate for one of our clients, and I went in undercover. And when she was fired, she had the only passcode to the QuickBooks, but she had a hint. Her favorite dog. She had a public Facebook account, and I found the name of the dog. I was able to get into the QuickBooks. Just the common sense, social media. Don't put stuff on there. You go to my pages, I don't use much. You'll see hockey. You might see IT stuff. You're not gonna see anything else as far as some personal stuff. I'm on vacation for 2 weeks. You know, I'll just tell everyone my house is available. You know, so, anyway. So you should have a someone in your organization that's an administrator. If not, like we offer levels of support. If it's just email, we can manage your email for you. Set it up where we'll get the alerts. You can get the alerts if something is not right. One of your customers, you know, one of your clients, basically, or someone, the recipient, has just clicked on a bad URL. I just got that today, as a matter of fact, but it was okay. Next one. So, so basically, every organization should have a security officer. You know, if you're too busy to handle this stuff, our organization doesn't just sell computers; it sells the services as little or as much as you need. We're pretty easygoing. We try to differentiate ourselves from the competitors by picking the phone up and getting back to you right away. For the members here, we offer a free assessment. Anything you want to call us about, email, give a question, we're happy to answer it. And if there is a next step with a match, we'd like more information or our services, we're really easy to work with and appreciate your time and looking at this and Mark letting us speak and calling and such. So if you have any questions, let us know too, and I can answer a few now. I'll also eventually turn it over to one of our colleagues here who will follow up with the best practice for risk assessment, cyber insurance and such. So does anyone have anything? Sure things.
So I have the, it's not one. What do you do about cookies? Because when you go onto the website, people accept all cookies, which I know that I'm giving my information out, but the site won't work.
Right, so cookies can be good or they can be bad. So I mean, basically, if it's somewhere you go frequently, it's the same site. If you go into any of the browsers, there's incognito mode or private browsing. And that way you're actually not getting the cookies. Now, if it's something that you have to have the cookie in there, you can kind of go on a case by case basis and get permission for that one website. And you can take that offline. I can kind of give you an example of how to set the browser up where it has like a case by case basis. We use incognito wherever we can. We don't want to store the information. And we use cleaners that will clean out these cookies. If you've never cleaned your computer and you're wondering why it's running, like taking 2 hours to start up, it's probably because you've never cleaned it or might need an upgrade. So if you had a question, should I keep my computer upgraded? You might just need to clean it. Or it might be this too old. In fact, it's not worth putting money into it. But we can help you with a free analysis of the computer as well. So I hope that helps. Yeah.
For those companies who don't have a security officer, what steps do you recommend that somebody take if they get hacked, they get ransomware? It has to be at the bottom anyway. What are they? What's
Well, basically, there's certain rules. It's HIPAA or WISP. You have to, if you don't have a security officer, you have to have an outline of what the steps are when you've been hacked. We had a hack at the accounting firm. It's like part two. Telling some people here. There's one of our firms. The lady accidentally clicked on the email from fake Microsoft. Not only did she give her email and her passcode, she gave the authenticated barcode. She gave everything to the hackers. So at that point, we can't really stop that if people do that. So we got an alert. Someone has clicked on. So by duty, what we had to do is by WISP requirements, we had to stop the attack immediately, investigate, find out what was hacked. It went out to that's about 350 good emails went out from the wrong account. We had to contact each person, let them know that there's been a breach. If you click on the link, you might have a problem. There's a certain set of rules that you have to do for an organization, but the standard, and I think our next presenter can tell you that a risk assessment for any organization, you have an outline as to what your risk is, especially if you want to try to cyber insurance, but we can also help working together, put a plan together. If something happens, what do we do? What's the exact problem here? What got hacked? What does this mean? Is it violating attorney privilege? I mean, it could be a lot of different things. Luckily, the attack that we had, they only got through contacts. We stopped it in time. It could have gone further on. I mean, it could have gone into a secure OneDrive or SharePoint. And so our systems are set up to detect these. They're not always immediate, but we did get an alert that someone has clicked on a bad link. And we immediately call the client and they start saying, yeah, our clients are saying we're getting bad emails. So to answer your question, it's probably on a case by case basis, working with somebody else to either help you, all the time. You pay them versus a job where they help you one off on a project, helping you put the whole outline together as to, yes, I have a firewall, I use secure passcodes, I don't store customer information. All these things are listed, whether it's HIPAA or WISP, and we work together with the specialists like Brian here to help clients, whether they need something permanent, monthly, or just a one-off, how to get qualified and set up for an assessment or even get the insurance.
Do you guys track where that data might come from?
I'm sorry, could you say the question
Do
again?
you track where the data comes from?
Yes, what will happen is that through Microsoft, which is more savvy than the Google Workspace, we were able to find the hacker, find out what it was sent and who it was sent to. So the first part of the hack was one of our clients, we shared the accounting firm in Frederick. I sent them my information, they came from QuickBooks, but one of their people were hacked, and the receptionist sent out a request for paycheck stubs, and it went to one person who sent it, and the hacker got it, so she was sent a bad link. And basically that link compromised her email. We got the alert. It took a while. We had to figure out where the hack came from, what the address was, block it, reset her passcodes. It was the whole protocol. Microsoft, through their more intelligent advanced services, has not only can you track where it came from, you can find out who it went to in a certain period of time. The example I showed were just a bunch of hackers trying to get into my account. It shows what country that came from and that they didn't get in. So, you can also. Well, I had worked in a breach in 2021 with the FBI. It was Kaseya. It was a managed service tool, and instead of using authenticators, they hacked it from the top down, and they sent out scripting, and it started to bugger up all the computers. So, I worked with the authorities on some of these hacks where they actually provide intelligence how to undo what the damage is. So it really depends on the severity of the hack. If you're in the accounting business or medical business, you have to disclose that you were hacked. Depending on what was compromised, you do have to notify the authorities or not, depending on the severity of the breach. Sure.
So the problem with tracking where these hackers come from is that they usually use VPNs, which mask their actual internet addresses. So like one day, let's say it's coming from Taiwan, and then the next day it's from Canada. It's because they're switching locations. That's the problem.
Right, so we can get rid of most of these. I don't do business overseas, so I block all those addresses, but they're pretty savvy. They're trying to get me through a VPN through Buffalo. It's cut most of them out. I just say I don't accept anything from another country. Period. I don't do business with any other country but the United States and Canada. So I can block everything, but they can also, there's workarounds for that. So they can pretend they're in Texas or somewhere else. But there's things you can do. You can never do 100%. There's certain steps you can take to minimize so that they can. If they do get in and find out what kind of alerts, and also, or I've been hacked. They got into my stuff. Do I have a plan to restore my information? Do I have a backup from yesterday? Week ago. What happens if you turn on the computer and you can't get into your stuff? You have a plan in place to getting it back. That's important too. And it could be expensive. It could be just something that you periodically back up to, or even smartly. Even the manual process is harder, than even keeping a flash drive with information at a different location in case there's a fire or disaster. So, anything else?
I'm going to send you all the slides, okay, afterwards.
I'll give you the presentation, and we have some cards too with information on them that also, in case anyone wanted to follow up, maybe 3 questions. Like I said, it's easy on stuff, and if there's a need there, you like us to help you. You just want us to answer some questions. This is a courtesy to our members. We're happy to help you. So I appreciate the opportunity to present. So.
Thank you, Brian. Now we have another Brian.
Brian.
If that didn't scare you enough, so we're going to help you.
We'll just keep this up. I don't have a slide deck prepared, but just echo everything Brian said. It's scary. You can do a ton of things. Marty and I were talking beforehand, and it's think about big companies that have been hacked, right? Target, Apple, Google. They have hundreds of millions of dollars to spend on security, right? Small businesses do not have hundreds of millions of dollars to spend on security, and they still get hacked. The trick is you want to get rid of the easy things, right? The hacking's a business now, so they want money. It's not a joyride anymore. We're not taking a car out for a spin and then on the side of the road. These guys want money, and they want to get it easy, quick, as fast as they can. So all the things Brian was talking about, the basic blocking and tackling. I know 3 passwords. I have hundreds. I know 3. The rest of them, I have no idea what they are because they're in LastPass, right? Just pick random passwords, put them in there, don't know them. If you don't know them, you can't end up in a situation where you're picking something that's patterned or something like that, right? So all the things Brian's talking about that they can help you fix, 100%. Gotta get on board with it. You've got to do it. MFA's easy, email security, password management. A lot of those password managers also have breach detection capabilities. So if I put my passwords in there, do I know that that they're on the dark web? Yeah, I can tell. Have they been reused? No, don't want that either. So all those things, 100% need to be done. We're a little bit different in that we want to provide digital risk awareness to small, medium businesses. And small, medium business is a little bit nebulous, right? Like, what's a small, medium business? Well, our product scales all the way down to $0. If you've got a company and it's not making any money, right? You can still use this product. It's $250 to start. If you are a 10, 15, $20 million company, the product scales up to that, right? The assessments get a little bit more expensive, but a base assessment for $250 could tell you if you're at risk and need to spend a little bit more money on a bigger assessment. The assessments go all the way up and cover PCI, HIPAA, they cover NIST, ISO. The big assessment's 529 questions, the small assessment's 32. What happens, because how can anybody get their security posture in 32 questions, right? Impossible. Well, the questions are generic and they're built in such a way that they try to create a digital signature of a business. What's my NAICS code? In other words, what's my industry type, right? I'm in the spa industry, right? I'm an attorney, I'm whatever. It also then starts to ask questions like, do my employees use their personal mobile devices for work, right? Okay, if you do, that opens up a whole nother series of attacks. So we're partnered with MasterCard. They built a product called CyberQuant. CyberQuant is in real time, near real time, pulling thousands of data points from around the world. So in the southeastern United States, there's currently a ransomware attack that's targeting people with X, Y, and Z, devices. Okay, in South America, there's an attack going on that's doing X, Y, and Z with who knows what, right? With some sort of malware component, and it's only being discovered by behavior based. It's not, there's no signature out for it yet, right? So what we're able to do with that data is combine those thousands of real-time data points with your digital signature, and then it's able to tell you, okay, look, this company is vulnerable because they are a legal firm, that uses mobile devices, that doesn't have host-based intrusion detection. Okay, now you are susceptible to that particular type of attack. So the very cool thing about CyberQuant is it doesn't just say, hey, look, you're busted, we don't know how to fix you. It gives you the top 3 remediations. Now, sometimes we're able to do those remediations, but most of the time we're partnering with a company called like KBIT to do that work, right? So they would come in, they would say, okay, you need web browser sandboxing. So if you click on something, it's isolated to your browser. It doesn't, the scope of it doesn't expand out of there. So those types of things will give those suggestions. The other very cool thing that it does is it gives you your financial risk exposure in terms of US dollars. I'm a $1 million annual revenue company. I have X, Y, and Z. I have $250,000 worth of annual risk, financial risk. So what can I do with that? That's my risk exposure, 250K in this scenario. What do I do with that? Well, if I'm risk intolerant, right? I want to remediate all of it. If I'm a little bit more risk tolerant, maybe that's acceptable to me. That's your decision. But now we're giving you the data, we're giving you the power for people to decide what you want to do with that information. You can also then get a quote on how to fix and implement these things. And if Brian comes in with a $10,000 quote to implement X, Y, and Z, and that reduces your risk by $50,000, that's a good investment, right? What you always have to do with the leftover risk exposure dollars is transfer it. You can't have it sitting on the books if you're risk intolerant. So what we do provide is a nice platform to be able to purchase a cyber insurance policy. We are not an insurance broker, but we're partnered with an MGA. We have our policies set up online. You go through an assessment. There are kick-out questions. Again, we would work with Brian to help you fix those things. Do you have a security awareness training plan for your company? That's gonna be one of them. If you don't have it, we gotta put it in place so that then you can answer that question in the affirmative, and then you can get an insurance quote. I've seen quotes for 250K as low as $30 a month. $30 a month that covers you for 250K, it covers you for some social engineering. But we'd have to check the policy for what to qualify for and things like that. We have a partner that would go through the policy with you, but for $30, you can't fix everything. There's always some sort of risk. You need the backstop, you need an insurance backstop, just like you need it for fire, for, all your PNC stuff, right? You need cyber insurance. We sell it. We're more than happy to work with your insurance agent. If you have an insurance agent that you already work with, take the assessment. We will walk through that with that agent with you. Say, hey, here's what we're seeing. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Like, we just want to get it out there. So that's it. I can do more horror stories. Maybe we'll do another presentation, Brian, horror stories, and bring Brian back and we'll do some things. Yeah.